Hey all, and welcome back to Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood. Angel Island appears to have been taken to Metropolis. I keep forgetting that fucking transition is in the game, and it takes me back every single time. But anyway, yeah, the Marauders have taken Angel Island, shit's going down. Even Eggman is on our side. I mean, I guess he wants his city back, but we kind of need Angel Island back, so, tomato, tomato. It's a game of... Life's a game of give and take, you see, to quote Knuckles from that famous game Sonic and the Secret Rings.
I completely forgot about that, but okay. Yeah, this chapter takes place almost entirely in Metropolis, and I think that does kind of work against it a little bit on the fact that Metropolis in this game really isn't the most pleasant place to look at, and I mean that not just in terms of the fact that obviously it's the rundown robotic city, but also in the fact that it's just sort of boring aesthetically.
Oh god, I wish A Link Between Worlds had that, but no, the thing's gonna flutter regardless. Also, I keep calling this place Mobotropolis. I think that's just because I grew up watching SAT-AM. I'm not used to calling the place just Metropolis. It needs a prefix, is what it is.
I mean, it doesn't, but if you want to go that way, sure. Like that's the one from SAT-AM. What was it called in, like, the OVA? Wasn't that, like, Robotnik Land or something like that?
It was Robotnik Land.
Christ, that is stupid. But, yeah. This is pretty much... I think this is the longest chapter so far as well, so that also doubles down on, like, you will get sick of Metropolis in this game, and I kind of wish that... Like, this is obviously going into my pedantic colour theory sort of thinking, as I'm tend to do, but this would be so much more interesting if they took the greens and whatnot from Metropolis Zone how it actually is, rather than just reinventing it to be boring.
Yeah, that'd be really good with the sort of architecture. We're basically coming up with commentary to talk over characters talking at this point. I swear, there will be battles. There will be battles. Do not ask for a ticket refund. You will not get one. Also, where did you get that ticket in the first place?
Yeah, I don't remember printing these. Has someone been counterfeiting? Because if so, you might want to find something more profitable.
See, Knuckles, like, his reaction here, I completely understand. He just realised, like, he's not the last of his kind. But, you know, credit where credit's due, he's taking it in his stride for the most part. He's even ready to exposit dialogue, so good for him.
Yeah, Knuckles is actually handled pretty well throughout this whole, like, Echidna arc here, I think. And that is, like, I know we've mentioned it is one of the strengths of Chronicles, in the fact that, like, although the story is kind of a bit all over the place sometimes, like, the individual character moments are very good for the most part.
Yeah, agreed.
Discounting the whole big jokes and that, you know, I need to find some frogs, that sort of shit. We've been past that, we've done that, I can get over it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is pretty much what's happening here. It's Knuckles very slowly coming to terms with Shade's existence and the fact that there's this Nocturnus clan that are still around. So it's not just that he's not the last one, it's also that there's an entire civilization of them that he didn't know were still about.
And also that they're all bad guys, which doesn't help matters, because you kind of go, am I in the wrong team here? Am I meant to be a bad guy team? No, that doesn't sound right. What's going on here?
Oh, wait a minute. In the script, it's Knuckles-bad guy. Huh, maybe I was on the wrong side all this time. Amy, I don't really care what you have to say, but let's actually progress this fucking Dexter subplot, shall we?
Yes, we will humour her and pretend to care about the Dexter subplot.
I mean, was anyone really expecting there to be a character at the end of this? Like, I know I'm a cynical cunt sometimes, but, you know, I held out a sliver of hope.
Like, no, it was clearly just Amy trying to get Sonic's attention, let's be real here.
I mean, I have to say, I think it would have been an interesting wrinkle had there actually been a character in there, because sort of, while obviously the whole Son Amy thing is quite played out, it's the closest the series has to any sort of legitimate romantic arc of any description. And I mean, I say that probably the game that does it the best is probably Sonic Unleashed.
Yeah.
In terms of actually creating a relationship between the two that seems fitting and in keeping with sort of the entire arc of Sonic. Whereas obviously prior to that, she was basically just like, oh my god, she's a complete not a crazy stalker.
Yeah.
And in this game, she's still pretty much crazy stalker lady, but there's that whole also, I'm going to pretend to have a boyfriend so that you like me more, which just makes her even creepier, to be honest.
Pretty much.
Do we have a plan to, like, take out everyone in Metropolis, or are we just going to go in and wing it as we usually do?
Well, how many people are gonna be left after the fucking egg carrier crashed into it?
True, very true.
And then we've also got the whole thing of, also, this massive floating island crashed into it. Like, couldn't it just fucking crash into the ocean like it did last time? That's a lot safer, even if it does make a few floods here and there.
True, true. Also, I don't think the island crashing has happened yet. See, this is another thing that you're basically echoing what I did like a part or two ago, where I remember things from the game just in the wrong sequential order. Don't worry, it happens. But the main thing to realise is we're going to be fighting a lot of annoying robots here, especially absolute units, because Marauders love to take over robots, so I think in that instance, having them take over, like, Metropolis in general is actually a good plot point, because there's already, like, a whole army of stuff, and they're using Eggman stuff against him, so he has a reason to be on the side of the heroes. It's stuff like that that is, like, satisfyingly written. I mean, it's kind of obvious what the outcome's going to be, but the setup is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think the other thing is that it's the ongoing issue that is with Sonic Chronicles is that the ideas here are not bad.
No.
Like, there's actually some really good stuff in here. It's just that the execution is incredibly piss poor and just makes it disappointing, which is, to be honest, even worse than just being bad. Because then you're just like, but you could have been good. God damn you.
Well, I wouldn't say that he's completely piss poor in that. Like, I've been the apologist for this game all the way through so far. But
yeah, you're the Liam of the group right now. What the hell? You've even got long hair as well.
Yeah, okay. I don't really know much about him other than seeing the occasional tweet from him, so I have no reference. But
okay,
cool, I'll roll with that, I guess. But, like, I don't know, like, I don't really feel overly disappointed in the final product, because I did play through it and did enjoy playing it. I do get the whole vibe of, like, this could be better if there was, like, the extra level of polish there, but I don't really feel this was, like, a ruined experience because of the lack of production value. It's just sort of, it was alright, you know?
Yeah, I get that. My thing is, obviously, you've come to it following the many years of derision that the game has received. So you're going at it from quite a low level of expectation.
Yeah.
You're going in thinking everyone thinks this is the worst thing ever. Actually, it's not as bad as maybe everybody thought it was. Whereas I know that I came at it from, actually, this could be really fun, and I'm really actually looking forward to this, and oh, this is what it is. And it's that...
I think I'm the middle ground in that regard, honestly. Like, I'd already, like, heard people's takes on it, so I guess my expectations were coloured a little bit by that, but I still tried to give it a fair shake and still found a mediocre product in my eyes.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of, I do get where you're coming from in that it is down to expectations to a certain degree, but, you know, like, I had heard you guys completely ripping the shit out of it, and Richie in particular, it made Richie actual mad, and that's something that I don't see that often. Kind of, I was kind of expecting to, like, really dislike it, despite, like, you know, well, with that in mind, but, you know, I kind of came away from it, it's alright. But the thing we do need to kind of address here that's happening on screen is this is the first part where our characters split into teams. So we've got Team Sonic and Knuckles and Team Tails and Eggman, and then you can, like, adjust the other characters depending on who you want in each team. Mm-hmm. I was sort of winging it as to who I'm picking. Like, this team is the one that I like to spam the attacks with, like with Sonic's Axe Kick and Shadow's Chaos Spear. So I brought Cream along for that. I'm sort of gonna have to get a bit more creative with Team Tails and Eggman.
That seems like the team that would be more tricky anyway, the Subterfuge team. Like, Sonic and, you know, Shadow and Knuckles, etc., they run damage control while Eggman and Tails work in the background.
Yeah, like, you know, they are playing to their role, like, precisely, aren't they? Of, like, the tech guys, the smart guys, well, smart loosely with Eggman. I know he's got the IQ, but not really in practice, but hey.
I like how you lured that guy in only to edit the fucking finger.
Well, I think I was trying to work around him, because throughout this chapter, like, there are a lot of wild encounters, particularly when we get outside here, and I will be skipping quite a few of them.
Oh,
and
thank you.
And I was trying to make that a natural skip of run around and not collide with them in the first place, because I don't particularly like having to make edits and that like that. But, sometimes I just run into them and I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I've noticed when you just leave stuff as is a lot of the time, Flame. Are you trying to keep the integrity of the gameplay there?
Well, it's more that, I prefer it not to have noticeable interruptions. Like, a lot of the time when I make edits, it's usually like a door or something else like that where you're not going to notice it. But we got another beautiful Newgrounds animation. Them expressions there, like particularly Sonic, it's like his face was completely lopsided.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it before, I'll say it again. The character portraits are really nice. I like those. The quality difference in the actual cutscenes couldn't be further from them though. It's like you have Knuckles fucking sig heiling at the side of a ship going up into the sky, and it's like, what the fuck?
Oh god, and this was them ripping off Penders. This weren't actually Penders as well.
True. I gotta say, it's a real shame we never really, well, at least not in the recent future anyway, gonna get any more good echidna-centric storylines with Knuckles and so on. All because of this Penders stuff. People will just be too afraid to tackle him, which is ironic because I don't think he could fight his way out of a paper bag, really.
Well, yeah, but even if he is just losing every time, that's still another round that you got to pay your lawyers for, and fuck that shit.
Yeah, he's a bit of a concern troll, I'm gonna be honest.
Well, he's one of these people who seems completely detached from reality, if I put it that way. That's the nicest way I can put it. So, he probably does legitimately believe that he has a case every time he starts one of these deals, but, he's Ken Penders, that's his thing.
I like how you did a really unnecessary refresh or whatever, though.
Well, I usually just put the refresh on each round as a force of habit. Because it doesn't matter, even if it's wasted, she restores her own PP as well. So worst case, it's just a sponge attack. Does nothing sort of thing.
Now you see, if this was another more competently made RPG, the ability for Cream to restore her own power points would be a thing. That's how you would balance it. But at the same time, the game is so tedious, I'm kind of glad that this was either intentional or an oversight, because it's great like that.
Yeah.
Well, what you got to remember is that the difficulty to balance it out, I'm completely overwriting by using the chow. Usually there would be the sort of division there of either you do it right and Cream heals everyone's power points, or you fuck up and you waste her power points for nothing. But naturally, because I'm using the OP Chow here, I have no challenge whatsoever with using her.
True, but I don't know, a regular RPG wouldn't have those really ridiculous do every single input correctly or you basically do nothing sort of things. But getting off topic here, Rich, how was your trip to Metropolis, mate? Did you feel this is where the game started to have an uptick in difficulty? Did you struggle here at all?
Honestly, in terms of whether I struggled or not, I honestly cannot remember, because it is that long ago now. I remember just going, oh yeah, this is a place. All I remember is just that I didn't like it because it was just quite tedious, and going back to the whole colour palette thing, I think it is that, because it's basically this place just looks like it's filled with a piss filter.
Wow.
And,
like Sonic Forces.
Yeah, and just doesn't really excite at all. So the fact that you're here for a long period of time, and I have actually had a look at kind of the rest of the playthrough in terms of parts and chapter lengths, and this is, I think, one of 2 4-parter chapters.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense because it's sort of the end of the first half of the game, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, this is the big status quo change, which is fine. I feel it gets the length that it needed to do to have impact.
Yeah.
Even if the contents aren't the most exciting. I think the finale, which is actually why I had to tap out in the Sonic-a-thon run, because I kind of work myself into a corner, more of which later. This is a long chapter. But I feel what it does right pretty well.
Yeah, I think it is just, it's the whole colour palette of the area, the number of enemies on the field, and sort of the annoyance that a lot of those enemies provide, because is it these guys who are just an absolute bugger in this area? They look it because they're the big absolute units who look really stupidly bulky.
I think on top of that, there's also the fact that at the start of this chapter, or particularly the end of the last one, is your first point of no return. So everything is here. Like, if you remember the first few chapters, we were constantly going between Green Hill, Central City, and Mystic Ruins, and then in chapter 4, obviously, Blue Ridge. So there was always something new to look at, whereas here it's just, we're in for the long haul. So I would say out of all the areas we've been to so far, I think the one that looks most pleasing, like there's Green Hill and Mystic Ruins are at least a bit more interesting to look at. Like Central City is sort of alright, and Blue Ridge is still quite pretty, although not the most memorable thing.
Yeah, I like Blue Ridge.
And obviously Blue Ridge, my favourite because it's one of the most bearable music tracks as well, so there's that.
Now, do these robots get up like after a certain amount of time? Because I'm noticing like they're not activating regen like the SWAT does.
I can't remember. I don't think these ones do. Like, they might have a specific power to lift the other one up. I can't remember, but I don't think it's like an automated thing like the SWAT bots.
Okay. Also, here comes pedantic commentator logic. How the fuck do a robot fall asleep?
Well, maybe it's out of battery.
Maybe it is, mate. Maybe it is.
That's all I got. You asked a stupid question, you got a stupid answer.
And if you want the slightly more intelligent answer, bloody hell, where was that posh word coming from? If you want the slightly more intelligent answer, if you think about it, obviously most of Eggman's robots are controlled by little cute animals inside them. And so if that is the case, then if that's what's controlling them, then they could be put to sleep. Also, all of Eggman's robots are at least somewhat sentient, and therefore they could theoretically, feasibly have some sort of sleep cycle.
Can't believe we're discussing this with some legitimacy.
Well, like, if you think about Eggman's design philosophy, he does make his robots very personalised, to the point where you think in Generations, when you had the egg pawns that get horny for Rogue, like, he is very much making them like people.
Exactly.
So it's not completely unimaginable for him to make robots that get tired.
True, very true. So obviously we're going to be dealing with Marauders as well as Eggman's robots and the like here. I noticed this was called Nocturnus V-Light or something. Richie, do you have any, is that an actual word, is what I'm trying to say here?
Well, Nocturnus, definitely in some form. Well, I mean, yeah, in general. Although I type in the word Nocturnus and it points me towards an American progressive death metal band found in Tampa, Florida in 1987.
Sweet.
But basically, sort of nocturne, it's all to do with kind of nighttime, nocturnal, so on and so forth. The thing that I mostly think of is Frederick Francois Chopin's Nocturne.
Yeah, well, that's not what I was asking. I know what Nocturne's about, mate. Don't worry. It's the other thing that I'm curious about.
Well, I'm going to have to check that one out because my brain was just like, I can't even remember what that word was.
Oh, Richie. Sweet, lovable, stupid Richie.
Right, so, Velite, there we go. That's the word we were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, first off, let's see whether the delight that is the...
You have less than a minute. You need to hurry up, mate.
So, the word Velite derives from the Latin word velites, or velites, which were a class of infantry in the plebeian legions of the early Roman Republic.
Oh, so they're all a bunch of plebs, is what you're saying?
So, yeah, so basically it's just like it's the Nocturnus clan infantry.
Yeah. That's cool, actually. I kind of like how there's, you get to see how their military functions and whatnot. It's a very small thing, and really I am kind of giving more credit than it probably deserves. Not in a bad way or anything, but, I don't know, I like that. That's the sort of list stuff that makes me purr, as it were.
Okay, that's an interesting reaction to finding out about how these characters do stuff. I'll give you that.
You know damn well that you and probably I have certain tics that make things like this enjoyable. So don't look down your nose at me, bastard man.
That was a lot more passionate than I was expecting as a rebuttal for that.
It was more passionate as a response from me than I was expecting, yeah.
I know. It's familiar, isn't it?
Oh, why does this feel so familiar? Alright, Cream, time to release your secret weapon, Death Beam Home!
This is where I'll drop the nuke, right? I just need to get 6 more health, but it's going to be finicky. There we go.
Awesome stuff, guys. Alright, please join us next time when the battle for Angel Island continues and we get even more health leaves than we know what to do with. Why did it have to end there and not after the battle? Alright, they're taking off. Let's go.
But I'm getting the cutscene in before the part's out.
Damn it. Damn it. Yeah, there we go. Jump in. The fuck was